And this went through certain phases that we will be calling them. The first phase was man as an appendix of the machine. Charlie Chaplin showed us very clearly in his film Modern Times some of the problems of this approach. In the second phase, we started to recognize that we needed to organize according to principles, not just because we think it's better, but because we measure things. Taylor's work in standards, time standards, Fayol's movements laid the base for this phase. In the third phase, the value of the human being began to be recognized. The works of Owen or Mary Parker Follett started this trend. And today we know that our most important asset is human assets. As we will see later on, how do we manage those assets is of paramount importance in operations. There are 4 fundamental milestones that you must know in order to understand what happened with modern production. The Industrial Revolution, operations research, where we developed most of the mathematics regarding cues, behavior, statistical behavior of a lot of phenomena that we wanted to study, the systems approach, and the service economy. Now, there are certain factors that are affecting currently in the production and operations. First is global competition. Thanks to globalization, we really have to compete with almost everyone. Quality has become something that cannot be understated. The evolution rate and production's technologies dissemination has gone through the roof. In past decades, sometimes the technology trickled down, happened very slowly. Not so now. Now they create a technology, and in a couple of months, if at all, that technology has been applied elsewhere. There was a very interesting study that showed how the best technology in cars went to the highest end cars, and it trickled down to the most economical cars. Previously it took around 4 to 10 years to trickle down. Today that technology is trickling down in between 1 and 2 years only. The growth of the service sector, the scarcity of the production resources, social responsibilities growth in importance, and as we have seen with the pandemic, the brittleness of the supply chain. So, let's try to understand now what are the differences between goods and services. Traditionally, people said yes, there is a difference between products and services. Products are tangible, they can be stored. Services are intangible, non-transferable, and cannot be stored. Okay. Today, that definition is being challenged. There are intangible assets that cannot be transferred, for example, cloud software. And there are services that can be transferred and stored, for example, telephony cards. So now let's talk a little bit about that principle that I mentioned previously regarding efficiency, productivity. These are synonyms that we will be using. And what is efficiency? What is productivity? It's the proportion of outputs in relation to the inputs. When we improve productivity, we improve the efficiency of the process. We are using better the resources. And when we use better the resources, we need less resources. Our costs go down. And if our costs go down, usually our sales go up because our product is cheaper. Remember, what was the assigned role to the operations manager? To make the most efficient use of the resources entrusted to him. Only by improving productivity you can improve the standard of living in a society. Now, let's see that I was talking about efficiency here, but it's a different aspect when we talk about effectiveness. Effectiveness is just achieving a result without taking care of the resources that we need. We only care about the result. Whereas in efficiency, we care about getting the result and the use of resources. So never ever confuse effectiveness with efficiency. They are two different beasts altogether. Our lesson will continue in the next video.